Me, 30M, and my wife, 29F, changed after the baby. So, me and my wife had a wonderful baby girl 2.5 years ago. Before the baby we were very intimate and affectionate towards each other. After the baby, with the new major responsibilities and sleepless nights, our relationship changed in a very negative way. We started to bicker and argue about little things, and we became very frustrated and annoyed with each other. Over the past 2 years our lives became purely focused on raising our baby and our relationship kind of got put in second place, which makes sense and I feel is very normal for couples with their first baby. However, just a few weeks ago I became very aware of how I may have been a big problem in our relationship. I was viewing it all wrong. I was the one who wasn't putting in so much effort with the baby and I was still trying to live my life pre-baby style instead of fully taking up as much of the responsibilities as my wife was. Since realizing this I have made a complete change and I am taking over most of the responsibilities where I can. This has led to me feeling a lot better about life in general and feeling a greater sense of love and affection for my wife as well as my daughter. My wife and I hardly argue anymore and I've realized that her behavior towards me was a reaction to my actions, or lack thereof, around her. I was always putting me first instead of her and our child, which was wrong. So all that being said, the problem is, before the baby my wife was very affectionate towards me. Random hugs and kisses, she would initiate intimate moments and she just had a certain look when she looked at me. Since our rough patch ended things have been better. More sex, more admiration for each other and all that, but it's still different than before. My wife hardly ever initiates sex unlike before, and a lot of times when I ask there's some reason like, I'm tired. It's like our roles are now reversed. I'm the completely smitten, affectionate one and she's now a little more reserved and withholding. I'm worried that I may have caused some permanent damage while I was being not a great partner to my wife. We have had a few discussions about how I was acting. She's very glad I changed and am improving and trying to be better. She tells me I don't need to regret any of my past and the fact that I've changed is all I need to focus on and we'll move forward together. Does anyone have a similar story that would share some advice? It has only been a few weeks since I've changed so I understand it's early and I am hopeful that we may be able to get back to a point similar to before our child. My wife hardly ever initiates sex unlike before, and a lot of times when I ask there's some reason like, I'm tired. It's like our roles are now reversed. I'm the completely smitten, affectionate one and she's now a little more reserved and withholding. Keep in mind, tons of women are completely touched out after giving birth and having a baby, toddler around them 24/7. Sounds like it's time to introduce weekly date nights again, and at least one other evening where you will make some time for quality time. Just the two of you without any talks about the baby. Furthermore, are you both also having some personal time where you can do whatever, e.g. seeing friends, going out shopping etc. It sounds like you guys are on the right track but just need patience to take it slow. Maybe she's taking time to make sure you change for good and not just temporarily, just one theory that I've seen and experienced. It took 2.5 years to get to this point so it's not going to change overnight. Baby steps and all that. Keep going. You've done years of damage and you're expecting it to be fully repaired in a matter of weeks. That's unrealistic. Time and consistency are needed to rebuild the trust she once had in you as a teammate, and a lover. 2.5 years is a long time to act selfishly. You mentioned you've turned your attitude around, just a few weeks ago. It's great you're already seeing some positive results, but you can't expect that your few weeks will magically undo years of damage. It probably just takes time and more communication to rebuild that trust and relationship. I mean, are you willing to give her 2.5 years of improved behavior to show you are serious and this isn't just a temporary thing? Sit her down and voice all of this to her. Apologize for the way your actions affected her and your daughter. Take them somewhere nice as a mini vacation and put them first in every way you can. Then do your best to continue that mindset and think every day how lucky you are to have what you have. Things may not be able to return to normal, but change is normal. Make a new normal you are happy with. We make our own luck in this life. Things can get better if you allow them to. Have faith and good luck. Thumbs up. This is going to take time to heal. Don't take this the wrong way, but don't think of women as a vending machine. You can't put in the money, effort, and expect immediate gratification. She has some emotional healing and trust rebuilding to do to realize this change is permanent, so don't let her down in that area. Keep putting the effort in and you will get back to where you were, and probably even a better place as you both mature and your child gets older and a little more independent. I'm telling you, the older couple sex life can be even more amazing and fulfilling than that young, dumb, horny sex life. Especially if the man is conscientiously putting in effort. Good luck. Your child is still young and exhausting, so it's natural for parents to still feel tired at this stage. Is there anyone you trust to look after your daughter for the night? But don't put too much pressure on the free night to be for sex. It can just be about enjoying each other company again. I'm worried that I may have caused some permanent damage while I was being not a great partner to my wife. You need to accept that this might very likely be the case. You let her down when she needed you to step up, and it will be hard for her to trust you again. You were shitty for 2 years, so come back after maintaining proper support for your wife for 2 years and then reevaluate. You can't expect the effects of 2 years of neglect to disappear as soon as you decide to be better. So she has been taking care of your child and household alone for more than 2 years, and after a few weeks of stepping up, you are already unhappy with how much she is doing for you. That's not enough time, or the right attitude, to show that you've actually changed, for one. Maybe try empathizing what her life has been like since getting pregnant? While you seemingly had the ability to live selfishly and maintain your pre-kid life, she has never had that luxury. Has she had the opportunity to actually have extended periods of time to herself? Has she ever had a change to really recharge from being a mom full-time? It's hard to unsee your partner leaving you flailing and not caring that you are struggling, especially over the course of years. I have been the primary caregiver of our 6-month-old and my opinion is to offer affection and intimacy without the sex. My husband would try to initiate sex out of nowhere and after looking after her all day it was the absolute last thing in my mind and felt like a bother chore to attend to, whereas if there was the cute fun kisses and cuddles throughout the day I would have more energy and be in the mood. Are you taking the toddler away to give her some one-on-one time? Are you taking the lead in your bub's care or still waiting on your wife to take the lead? There's a big difference in your wife telling you to bath your kid versus just getting it done. It's only been a few weeks. Have y'all talked about it? That seems to be step 1. Recognize where you were and what you want to be. And try recreating the magical moments you had before kids. Relive the good memories y'all had as a couple to try to rebuild that. While she's probably happy for the new you, some part of her is worn out over the hard memories and still holds resentment and/or fear that you'll change back. You've got to convince her otherwise. I think you are on a very good path, but you have to be realistic. There is no erasing 2 years of not being here enough in probably the most difficult moment of her life. I think that it's wonderful that you reconnect and that you are here now, but she knows who you are now. I mean, she knew who you were before, but she didn't know who you are in the "let's raise a child" situation. I would continue to be here, and get joy from my family life, but I would set my sex expectations very low. Having a baby causes physical, emotional, and hormonal changes to the body. Sometimes these changes are permanent. You can't add a pregnancy and a baby into your life and expect life or your relationship to ever go back to being exactly the same as before the pregnancy and baby. Keep those things in mind. That being said, it sounds like you have made a great improvement and that your wife appreciates it, but you can't expect her to go back to initiating sex as often, for the reasons listed above. It is possible that the 2.5-year, rough patch, did cause serious damage and she is trying to heal on her end. I agree with the sentiment that she is probably touched out. It might be useful if you are not already doing this to give her 3+ hours a week completely to herself where she can just relax and do something she enjoys. I guarantee this would help a lot. This happened to us, after our second kid though, not first. Postpartum depression played a huge role for me. I'm still recovering and he's 3 now lol. I just wanted to take a minute to say that you really seem to care and want to make this right. I also think that your wife sounds like she is also wanting to move forward. One of my very favorite things about my husband that keeps me so much in love with him is that we also talk and both try to lift each other up. We try to both continue the path to being better people and better parents. And we respect each other. Just keep loving them both. I believe in this one. My marriage has changed since my wife and I had a baby, too. Just like everyone here says, date night is important. You'll probably end up looking at pics of the kid, talking about the kid, all that. It might have been mentioned in the comments, but also sometimes your body changes so much after baby, good or bad, that you don't recognize it anymore and it's hard to feel truly appealing even if your partner is telling you that. Some people also just need some quality time alone to feel like themselves again, so it doesn't feel like they just went from keeping baby happy to keeping husband happy and sidelining their own needs. It sounds like you really value your wife and relationship, which is awesome. It's going to take time, a lot of it. Raising a kid doesn't get any easier. As they grow, the problems that you face just evolve into something new, i.e., potty training, doing homework, etc. There's a lot of advice I could give, but the best that I can give is to take your kid to the park, give her personal time alone, and let her decompress. Sometimes, the best thing that you can give your partner is privacy, alone time, do their chores, errands, and make their life easier. She will bounce back quicker if you take responsibilities and give her a break. She spent the better part of 2 years with you acting like that, and this change is fairly recent from what you've said. I'd be more surprised if she was like she behaved before. Having your partner devalue you like that ain't something folks just bounce back from, especially when it was an ongoing thing. Give her time or try couples therapy. Just came to say my husband and I are sort of in the same boat, however money problems caused part of it. I have a 2-year-old and ever since I had her he's more angry, he snaps at the drop of a dime. The first year of her life was rough and his parents made sure to tell me that, no matter what happens we won't let him be a deadbeat dad. We fight way more and things become tit for tat. Mostly his side. She hit me in the face? Well, she hit him in the eye. I got like no sleep, well he had even less. We're still going through it, and I don't honestly know how to end the cycle, but it would be nice to get back to where we were before. And it seems like most people I talk to who are married have had the same experience at some point, they're just better at hiding it. You probably have. My significant other and I had much of the same dynamic where we became completely broken. He's now realized his role, but I'm having a hard time warming back up because the hurt doesn't just dissipate. My recommendation is open, honest, and frequent communication. Get comfortable having these uncomfortable conversations and come to the table without defensiveness. Most of all, be patient and give it time. You didn't fall in love all at once, you didn't break down all at once, and you won't recover all at once. I applaud your realization and the changes that have been made. However, let me emphasize that when you are tired, do you still want to have sex? Also, don't equate sex with love and attraction. Many people do this, and when they aren't receiving sex because parenting is tiresome, they think it's because they aren't attractive or loved by their partners. I just want to tell you that I appreciate your thoughtfulness, which I read in your comments. It is rare to admit one's faults, and you do not seem to just defend yourself but to really listen. If you keep up your newfound introspection and stay compassionate towards your wife, everything will work out for you and your family, I think. One piece of advice I've always heard that makes complete sense is this. Your marriage comes first, your children come second. Now I know what you're thinking, neglecting your kids? They are your world. Never. But that's not my point. The point is you're in this situation because your entire day, all day, every day is focusing all on the child and you neglect your love life and quality time with your partner. Then OP's post is what becomes of it. Focus on you and your partner more, while still maintaining your child's needs and wants and being a good parent. Focus on your relationship first. Of course, don't ignore the Rugrats' needs, but y'all gotta work on each other. I'm a guy. What you're going through is pretty common. Child rearing is hard. It's exhausting. No one knows what to expect when you have a child. The closest approximation is a dog or cat, but that isn't even in the same state, let alone park. 100% always on. A little child that needs constant attention and caring. At the end of the day, as much as we love each other, we just want to be alone, because you're never alone with kids. Your wife will come around. Just plan more date days or an overnight here and there if you have someone that can take them. Warm bubble baths together, massages for her from you. Let her sneak a nap some evening while you take your daughter out. Do that little bit extra housework every now and then. Nice natural comments on how she looks or things she does that you see and appreciate. Small gifts or tokens of affection that have meaning no matter how small, like a surprise note or a cupcake. Make that little bit of extra effort to show affection and it will come back. Your wife has that mental load of a mother on top of all that you see she does. You just need to be patient and understanding and give that extra affection, and will it come? It's hard to be a mom.